Infinite Life Sutra. Amitabha's Pure Land is an extremely happy land. 7 jeweled trees are completely filled in Amitabha's Pure Land of ultimate bliss. There are some made of gold, some of silver, and others made of beryl, crystal, coral, ruby, or agate. There are also trees made of 2 to 7 kinds of jewels. There are gold trees with leaves, flowers and fruits of silver, silver trees with leaves, flowers and fruits of gold, beryl trees with leaves, flowers and fruits of crystal, crystal trees with leaves, flowers and fruits of beryl, coral trees with leaves, flowers and fruits of ruby, ruby trees with leaves, flowers and fruits of beryl, agate trees with leaves, flowers and fruits made of various jewels. There are jewel trees with purple gold roots, white silver trunks, beryl branches, crystal twigs, coral leaves, ruby flowers, and agate fruits. There are jewel trees with white silver roots, beryl trunks, crystal branches, coral twigs, ruby leaves, agate flowers, and purple gold fruits. There are jewel trees with beryl roots, crystal trunks, coral branches, ruby twigs, agate leaves, purple gold flowers, and white silver fruits. There are jewel trees with crystal roots, coral trunks, ruby branches, agate twigs, purple gold leaves, white silver flowers, and beryl fruits. There are jewel trees with coral roots, ruby trunks, agate branches, purple gold twigs, white silver leaves, beryl flowers, and crystal fruits. There are jewel trees with ruby roots, agate trunks, purple gold branches, white silver twigs, beryl leaves, crystal flowers, and coral fruits. There are jewel trees with agate roots, purple gold trunks, white silver branches, beryl twigs, crystal leaves, coral flowers, and ruby fruits. These jewel trees are in parallel rows, their trunks are evenly spaced, their branches are in level layers, their leaves are symmetrical, their flowers harmonize, and their fruits are well arranged. The brilliant colors of these trees are so luxuriant that it is impossible to see them all. When a pure breeze wafts through them, exquisite sounds of the pentatonic scales spontaneously arise and make symphonic music. The Bodhi tree in the Amitabha Buddha land is 4 million li in height and 5,000 yohanas in circumference at its base. Its branches spread 200,000 li in each of the 4 directions. It is a natural cluster of all kinds of precious stones and is adorned with the kings of jewels, namely moonlight mani gems and ocean-supporting wheel gems. Everywhere between its twigs hang jeweled ornaments with 1,000 million different colors intermingling in various ways, and their innumerable beams shine with the utmost brilliance. The Bodhi tree itself is covered with nets of rare, excellent gems, and on it appear all kinds of ornaments in accordance with one's wishes. When a gentle breeze wafts through its branches and leaves, innumerable exquisite Dharma sounds arise, which spread far and wide, pervading all the other Buddha lands in the 10 quarters. Those who hear the sounds attain penetrating insight into dharmas and dwell in the stage of non-retrogression. Until they attain Buddhahood, their senses of hearing will remain clear and sharp, and they will not suffer from any pain or sickness. Whether they hear the sounds of the Bodhi tree, see its colors, smell its perfumes, taste its flavors, perceive its lights, or conceive of the Dharma in their minds, they will attain profoundly penetrating insight into the dharmas and dwell in the stage of non-retrogression. Until they attain Buddhahood, their six sense organs will remain sharp and clear, and they will not suffer from any pain or disease. When the humans and devas of that land see the Bodhi tree, they will attain three insights. First, insight into reality through hearing the sacred sounds. Second, insight into reality by being in accord with it. And third, the insight into the non-arising of all dharmas. These benefits are all bestowed by the majestic power of Amitabha Buddha, the power of his primal vow, his perfectly fulfilled vow, his clear and manifest vow, his firm vow, and his accomplished vow. A king of this world possesses 100,000 kinds of music. From the realm ruled by a wheel-turning monarch up to the sixth heaven, the sounds of the music produced in each higher realm are 10 million kotis of times superior to those of a lower one. The thousands of varieties of musical sound produced in the sixth heaven are 1,000 kotis of times inferior to one sound produced from the seven jewel trees in the land of Amitabha Buddha. Again, in that land, there are thousands of varieties of natural music, which are all, without exception, sounds of the Dharma. They are clear and serene, full of depth and resonance, delicate and harmonious. They are the most excellent of sounds in all the worlds of the 10 quarters. The halls, monasteries, palaces, and pavilions are spontaneous apparitions, all adorned with the seven jewels and hung with the curtains of various other jewels, such as pearls and moon-bright mani gems. Inside and out, to right and left, are bathing pools. Some of them are 10 yohanas in length, breadth, and depth. Some are 20 yohanas, others 30, and so on, until we come to those measuring 100,000 yohanas in length, breadth, and depth. They are brimful of the water of 8 excellent qualities, clear, fragrant, and tasting like nectar. They are golden pools with beds of silver sand, silver pools with beds of golden sand, crystal pools with beds of beryl sand, beryl pools with beds of crystal sand, coral pools with beds of amber sand, amber pools with beds of coral sand, agate pools with beds of ruby sand, ruby pearls with beds of agate sand, white jade pools with beds of purple gold sand, purple gold pools with beds of white jade sand. Others are composed of 2 to 7 jewels. On the banks of these pools are sandalwood trees, whose flowers and leaves hang down and diffuse perfumes everywhere. Heavenly lotuses of blue, pink, yellow, and white bloom profusely in various tints and tones, completely covering the surface of the water. Bodhisattvas and Shravakas in that land enter the jewel ponds and wish the water to rise to their ankles. It rises to their ankles. If they wish it to rise to their knees, it rises to their knees. If they wish it to rise to their waists, it rises to their waists. If they wish it to rise to their necks, it rises to their necks. If they wish it to pour over their bodies, it spontaneously pours over their bodies. If they wish it to recede, it recedes. Its temperature is moderate, cool or warm, according to their wishes. The water comforts the body and refreshes the mind, washing away their mental defilements. Clear and pure, the water is so transparent that it seems formless. The jewel sand shines so brightly that even the depth of the water cannot prevent its brilliance from being seen. The rippling water forms meandering streams, which join and flow into each other. Their movement is peaceful and quiet, neither too fast nor too slow, and their ripples spontaneously produce innumerable wonderful sounds. One can hear whatever sound one wishes. For example, some hear the sound Buddha, some hear the sound Dharma, some Sangha, others hear tranquility, emptiness, and non-self, great compassion, paramita, 10 powers, fearlessness, special qualities, supernatural powers, non-activity, neither arising nor perishing, insight into the non-arising of all dharmas, and so on until the various sounds of the wonderful dharma, such as the sprinkling of nectar upon the head of a bodhisattva, are heard. As one hears those sounds, one attains immeasurable joy and accords with the principles of purity, absence of desires, extinction, and reality. One is in harmony with the three treasures, the Buddha's powers, fearlessness and special qualities, and also with the supernatural powers and other methods of practice for bodhisattvas and shravakas. Not even the names of the three realms of suffering are heard there, but only nirvanic sounds of bliss. For this reason, that land is called peace and bliss. Those born in that Buddha land are endowed with such bodies of purity and provided with various exquisite sounds, supernatural powers, and virtues. The palaces in which they dwell, their clothing, food and drink, the wonderful flowers, and the various kinds of incense and adornments are like those naturally provided in the sixth heaven of the world of desire. At mealtimes, plates made of the 7 jewels, namely gold, silver, beryl, agate, ruby, coral, and amber, and also moonbright pearl, spontaneously appear, filled with food and drink of 100 tastes, according to one's wishes. Although the food is offered, no one actually eats it. Once it has been seen and smelt, one naturally feels that it has been eaten, and so is satisfied. Thus one feels relaxed in mind and body, free from attachment to the sense of taste. When the meal is over, everything disappears, but reappears at the next mealtime. That Buddha land, like the realm of unconditioned nirvana, is pure and serene, resplendent and blissful. The bodhisattvas there have lofty and brilliant wisdom and are masters of the supernatural powers. They are all of one form, without any differences, but are called heavenly beings, simply by analogy with the states of existence in other worlds. They are of noble and majestic countenance, unequaled in all the worlds, and their appearance is superb, unmatched by any being, heavenly or human. They are all endowed with bodies of naturalness, emptiness, and infinity. The king of a country is the most honored of all men. This is the reward for virtues accumulated in former lives, in which he, with a compassionate heart, gave generously to many, saved people from suffering through kindness and benevolence, performed good deeds with sincerity, and never disputed with others. When that life ended, he was rewarded by rebirth into a higher state. Born in a heavenly realm, he enjoyed bliss and happiness. His accumulated virtues produced such a surplus of goodness that when he was reborn as a man in this life, his birth was deservedly into a royal family. Being naturally noble, his dignified and majestic demeanor commands the respect of his people, and superb clothes and sumptuous food were prepared and served to him as he pleases. All this is a reward for virtues from his past lives. Even though a king is the noblest of all men and has a regal countenance, if he is compared with a wheel-turning monarch, he will appear as base and inferior as a beggar beside a king. Likewise, however excellent and unrivaled the majestic appearance of such a monarch may be, if he is compared with the Lord of the heaven of the 33 gods, he will also appear incomparably inferior, even 10,000 kotis of times more so. Again, if this heavenly Lord is compared with the Lord of the sixth heaven, he will appear 100,000 kotis of times inferior. If the Lord of the sixth heaven is compared with a bodhisattva dwelling in the land of Amitabha, his countenance and appearance will be far from matching those of the bodhisattva, being 1,000 million kotis of times or even incalculable times inferior. Bodhisattvas in the land of Amitabha are each provided with robes, food and drink, flowers, perfume, ornaments, silken canopies, and banners, and are surrounded by exquisite sounds. Their abodes, palaces, and pavilions are exactly in accordance with the size of their bodies. 1, 2, or even innumerable jewels appear before them as soon as they wish. In addition, beautiful jeweled fabric covers the ground where all bodhisattvas walk. In that Buddha land, there are innumerable jeweled nets, all adorned with skeins of gold thread, pearls, and 100,000 kinds of rare and marvelous treasures. All around the nets hang jeweled bells of the utmost beauty, which shine brilliantly. When a natural breeze of virtue arises and gently blows, it is moderate in temperature, neither cold nor hot, refreshing and soft to the senses, and moves neither too slowly nor too quickly. When the breeze wafts over the nets and the various jeweled trees, countless excellent sounds of the Dharma are heard, and 10,000 kinds of delicate fragrances of virtue are diffused. If one smells those fragrances, one's impurities and passions spontaneously cease to arise. If touched by the breeze itself, one enjoys the same pleasure as a monk who has entered the samadhi of extinction. As the breeze blows, flowers are scattered throughout the Buddha land. They spontaneously divide into different colors, not mixed together. They are soft and pleasant to touch, glow brilliantly, and diffuse rich fragrances. When one's foot is placed on them, they sink down 4 inches, but when the foot is lifted, they rise to their former level. When the flowers have served their purpose, the earth opens up and they vanish, leaving the ground clean and without a trace of them. At the right moment, 6 times a day, the breeze wafts, scattering the flowers in this way. Moreover, lotus flowers of various jewels fill the land. Each has 100,000 kotis of petals with lights of numerous colors. Blue lotuses glow with a blue light, white ones with a white light, and likewise, dark blue, yellow, red, and purple lotuses glow with lights of their respective colors. The brilliance of these lights is so magnificent that it outshines the sun and the moon. Each flower emits 3,600,000 kotis of rays of light, each sending forth 3,600,000 kotis of Buddhas. The bodies of these Buddhas are purple gold, with their physical characteristics and marks are superb beyond compare. Each Buddha emits 100,000 rays of light and expounds the wonderful Dharma to beings in the 10 quarters. thus setting innumerable beings on the right path of the Buddha. Sentient beings who are born in that Buddha land all reside among those assured of nirvana. The reason is that in that land there are neither beings who are destined to adverse conditions nor those whose destinies are uncertain. All Buddhas in the 10 quarters, as numerous as the sands of the river Ganges, together praise the inconceivable, supernatural virtue of Amitabha. All sentient beings who have heard his name rejoice in faith, remember him even once, and sincerely transfer the merit of virtuous practices to that land, aspiring to be born there, will attain birth and dwell in the stage of non-retrogression. But excluded are those who have committed the 5 gravest offenses and abused the right Dharma.